welcome back, my diamond painting pals. This is Allison Rosen, and today we are gonna do some drilling and some talking about Hurricane Florence. Yep, that's right. I don't know if everyone's heard about this hurricane, but I feel like they probably have by now. It's a big old hurricane headed towards, well, right for us. I live in Wilmington, North Carolina, and every instance of this hurricane has Wilmington right in the dead center. And how they run those like different tracks of how the hurricane may travel. Yeah, so right now they're saying, I'm just like beginning this like you know what I'm talking about, right? But I'm kind of, yeah, I'm gonna think this through with you guys because we're betwixt and between over here. So I woke up today to the news that, yep, we're definitely gonna get a hurricane, and it's gonna be here probably Thursday, maybe Wednesday, Thursday. Today is Monday. Maybe as late as, no later than Thursday. And like I said in the last two videos, my husband is out of town. He returned today. But we both said, yeah, we better get our act together here and start getting ready. So I went online and I was like, okay, well, what do I need for a hurricane? I mean, it's all pretty common sense stuff like water, flashlights, non-perishable food items, your canned goods. Yeah. So, and then I saw this ad for the Home Depot where they had this like everything you need hurricane survival kit for like $100 or something, and I was like, oh good, I could just go there, pick that up, all set. Well, no, because when I got there they had no idea what I was talking about. And if I can just talk for 1 second, I hate the Home Depot. Oh my God, I love Lowe's hardware so much more than them. Home Depot, you ask them a question, they look at you like you're from another planet altogether. They have no idea what you're talking about. Like they've never heard the term hammer. I go to my Lowe's and they're like telling me how to rebuild my basement and what I need for weatherproofing, and yeah, they're amazing there. I love my Lowe's. So anyways, I was at the Home Depot. And they were out of everything. They were out of generators. They were out of water. They had like some flashlights. I picked up a flashlight. They had 1 pack of D batteries left. Grabbed my D batteries, which was like put back in the wrong place. It wasn't where the D batteries were. So I feel like I totally scored by finding the 1 pack of D batteries. And what else did I get there? I think that's about it. I was I was like, okay, I'm going to my Lowe's. So I went to Lowe's. They had plenty of generators. They had plenty of water. I mean, they were obviously going to be selling out quickly because people were just grabbing cases of it. And I got a couple of buckets because I have no idea why, but I felt like I should buy some buckets. Okay. What else did I get there? Like a headlamp. Oh, this cool lamp that I saw once on Shark Tank for like emergencies, like kind of floats in the water and works off of solar power. I don't know. I didn't know what to get. I'm like, well, are we going to be like in water? Are we going to be floating down the street? Yeah, I mean, you see all these pictures of these devastating hurricanes, which now our little Hurricane Florence has been upgraded to a Category 4. Which is 140 miles an hour of sustained winds, which is like hard to even picture in your head. But Sarah and I were watching videos, because we're stupid, of different hurricanes that have hit the U.S. And one of them, like, there was this reporter in the street trying to talk, and you could see like he was almost being lifted right off the ground, and he was in 60-mile-an-hour winds. So, yeah. So I ended up at also Walmart. Walmart had no water, but they did have a cooler that I picked up. I'll probably end up returning it, but I don't know why. I was just like, I must have a cooler now. I have buckets, I need a cooler. And I also got like, those glow bracelets. I'm like, I'll put one on each of the kids, and if they float away, I'll find them by their glow bracelet. I mean, yeah, right. Like, I don't know. Yeah, we'll probably just have fun with those one day, but yeah. So, nervous Nilly, getting ready. And then I come home and I have like tons of junk food, first of all, because what else are you going to eat when the power is gone? And I bought three battery packs for the charging. The last 3 in Walmart, which I only found because the cashier was nice enough to like look in one last place. You know, they have them in like the checkout lines. And she's like, oh wait, maybe that cash because it's not open. And she went over there and she's like, yep, there's 3 left. Do you want them? And I was like, is it bad if I buy the rest? She's like, no. I said, okay, yeah, I want them. So, yeah, I have those 2. They're now fully charged, ready to charge us up whenever we might need it. Get home, I have tons of food. I put it all away. Excuse me. I'm putting all the bottles of water in the fridge. And then I call my dad. And I was like, Dad, I don't know. This is going to be bad. And he said, hang on. I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, yes, I can do that one without ruining my very lovely checkerboard. Okay. To answer someone's question, I use the tweezers to place my first round of checkers, and then I go in with the pen to fill them in, because the first round I place very nicely, and the second round I go in rather quickly. And she said it doesn't look like I'm pushing down at all, and that's because I'm not. I mean, it's sticky stuff. You don't really need to push down very hard. So I'm going to save my strength, I suppose, for when I need it. Sorry, I can't find my E's. E. Here we go. E tray. La 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 la. There's the first la la. My dad calls and he says, so you're getting ready for the hurricane? I said, yeah, this is what I have, this, you know. And he said, so you're not evacuating? And I hadn't really considered it up until that point. And he said, well, why don't you go to the condo in Florida? I think I've mentioned in the past that my parents have a place there that they're not using right now because they're in Montreal, because it's their winter place. And I said, oh, right, well, that's an idea, because honestly, we don't have like the thousands of dollars to go spend on a hotel for just in case there's a hurt, you know, we just don't have that kind of money, because it would end up being a lot of money, because we'd have to drive somewhere. You can't just go to a hotel in Wilmington. What's the point? And then you don't know how long you're going to be out of Wilmington, because we don't know what's going to be here. That's the part that's so scary. So now we're considering, okay, so should we leave town? Should we stay in town? And we're trying to get the opinions of anybody we can find that will answer us. Our neighbors have been living here for a very long time. They are planning on staying. They have I did not buy a generator, by the way. They're like $1,000 or $700 or something like that. So no. They do have a generator, and they are planning on staying. So they said, you know, feel free to come by if we need to like just charge up or hang out or whatever. They're really lovely people. And I said, okay, great. But then my dad got this in my head. He's like, you should probably just leave. Because what are you staying there for? You're staying there, oh man, I screwed up my checkerboard already? No, I didn't. I'm not going to let it. I'm not doing it. I'm not screwing it up yet. There we go. Okay. D. This one. Which means this one. And this one. Hopefully. We'll see, won't we? Sorry, I'm just kind of rambling on about this, but I'm really worried about it. Our house is... So, as of this point, right now, we don't know what we're doing. We're hemming and hawing because the traffic getting out of here is going to be ridiculous. I've already, mentioned a few times that my son is special. He's my special little boy. He does have autism. He likes his routines. He's not going to love this situation very much at all. But I've talked with him about it. Like to not surprise him with things too much, So I've spoken to him about it a little bit, and I said, we might be going to Bubby and Zadie's place in Florida, which he's familiar with because we go there for Christmas break. And he's just like, okay, great. And then he saw all the food I bought, and he's like, ooh, I want to eat that. And I said, well, that's for hurricane. That we're going to eat during the hurricane. And he's like, when's the hurricane? I said, probably Wednesday. He said, okay, I'm going to eat all of that on Wednesday then. Okay. Wednesday morning, that kid will wake up and be eating the hurricane food, because that's what I said. I love it. He's so literal. And yeah, we don't know what we're doing. So Maxie has us concerned. The whole traffic situation has us concerned. They have declared a state of emergency here, but they have not said mandatory evacuation for our part of the land. Cape Hatteras, which is in the ocean, they have a mandatory evacuation already. And some areas more low-lying than us have an evacuation mandatory already. The shelters are going to be open as of tomorrow morning, I suppose, just to get ready, because there's no storm coming on Tuesday. I hope not. And yeah, so if they say, yeah, you got to go, we're very pleased that we have a place to go. But have I mentioned that the Florida condo is 11 hours away from here? Yeah. It's an 11-hour drive in evacuation traffic, which, if it's anything like I've seen on TV, it doesn't look very fun at all. I did fill up the car today too, though. Yes, I did. So, what would you do? Okay, so I should tell you more about where our house is and trees. And so we live on the edge of a forest, but our house is pretty it's about 200 feet. Is it that far? I'd say about 125. I think I'm trying to picture a 100-foot long hose, and it wouldn't reach to the back deck. I mean the back fence. So let's say 125 to 140 feet before our property meets the trees. It's a big lot. So I don't think the trees from the forest would be falling on us. Because that's what you have to worry about. The wind and the trees and flying debris. So, but the neighbors have really tall trees in their front yard. Again, in proximity to the house, a lot closer. And it looks like if any trees were to fall on the house, it would be on Sarah's room. Now, obviously, she's not going to be in her room. We'll keep her nice and safe. But she is now freaking out because it's her room, it's her space, and she's crying and very upset that she might all her stuff could get ruined. And so I'm telling her that, before the hurricane comes, we're going to take all your favorite stuff. We're going to move it to a safer place in the house. If we leave town, we'll move it there before we leave. It's her books and her little collections that she has. I mean, you can imagine, it's all little girl's favorite things. And I screwed up my checkerboard. I always do that, no matter how hard I try. But that's okay. We're going to live and love another day. And, I will live to fight another checkerboard. So, again with the Zoe. She's very upset. She had a hard time falling asleep. I hope she's asleep now. Just distraught. A little 11-year-old puberty, hormonal brain, just not having a good time with it at all. And she's a worrier. In any case, she totally has that worry gene from her dad. Like I said, I'm the calm, cool, and collected one. Jared's the freaker. But in this situation, actually, he's the one that's more I think we should stay, because he doesn't want to leave the house. He's like, I don't know, if something happens and we were here to prevent something worse from happening, I'd rather that happen, if there is a leak, well, at least we could put one of those buckets that I bought there. Or if there is floodwaters. That's the other thing I didn't tell you. That back fence has a creek that goes through it. And I can't remember if I've already mentioned this, but that creek floods on us every single time it rains. It used to be, it needed to be quite a bit of rain, but now it's just, it rains, okay, yeah, the creek flooded on our property, because we have the lowest lying property among our neighbors in, let's say 4 houses in a row. I dropped my tray. I can't see much further away than that. But because, hang on, I think my husband's coming in here. Nope. Okay, good night, dear. Okay. Did you go see Sarah? Okay. I sent him a text to go make her feel better. Our property is pretty low compared to the others. Our lawn just kind of dips down, and where theirs doesn't. And so all of the debris, all of their fall leaves, all of the anything, twigs, branches, leaves, grass clippings, everything and anything flows up onto our backyard and then can't flow back out through the fence. It kind of gets clogged because it leaves more slowly than it comes in. And we can barely even see the back fence at this point. It's so filled up with debris, garbage. So if that creek floods with just a regular old rain, what's going to happen with the 20 or so inches they're forecasting? Because the hurricane is supposed to come and hang out a while. It's not going to come and go. They're saying it's going to be a sitter. It's a very slow moving hurricane. Right now it's only moving at 13 miles an hour or something like that. So Wendy, what do you think about the sows? When it does flood, it floods probably about 20 feet, 30 feet past the fence into the yard. But how much more water does it need to get to the house? Because there's a point where it's kind of going uphill, so it's a low level, and then there's a bit of an uphill where it kind of just rests in there, and then it comes back downhill towards the house. So if it gets over that little hump in the middle, it's all going to come rushing right into my basement, which is where I'm greeting you from tonight, which is where my whole everything is. I mean, aside from my children, this is like my prized possessions down here. You know, I mean, I'm sure you understand, you're crafters just like I am. It's everything I love. All my stuffs, you know. So I'm kind of, yeah, I'm just so not happy about any of this. And I kind of want to stay to keep an eye on it all. I mean, I'm going to obviously be moving everything out of the way, because there is a part of the basement that I know will flood. There's no question of it, because it comes up through the ground. So if we're getting that much water in the city in that short of a time, yeah, it's coming up through the ground in my basement. It happened like last month because we got a ton of rain in a short amount of time, again and again and again. It didn't have a chance to dry out. So ever since that one, I've been getting everything off the ground onto like a platform of sorts, or putting wheels on it so that I can roll it away in the event of more water coming in, because that's just kind of a given down here. So I wanted to make it easier on myself for the next time. So tomorrow, Jared and I will spend some time getting everything moved from one side of the basement to the other, from the floody side to the other. But the other is where the doors are, which could be the floody side anyway. You see what I'm saying? I'm a little bit panicked about that. But for some reason I'm panicked, but not freaking out. I'm just like, yep, that could definitely happen. I guess I'm just trying to keep my cool so much for everybody else that I'm like not letting myself get worried about it too much. But yeah, I'm kind of not happy about any of this. Definitely not. Definitely not. Now, C is 824, and I do think I grabbed an extra 824. I did indeed. I got an 824 from my drawers. My little drawers. Girly man drawers. No, not girly man drawers. They're beautiful drawers. Ugh, sorry. What would you do? I don't know like that our threat of life and limb is necessarily high. I mean, we do live about 1.5 miles away from the ocean, but there's a lot of stuff between us and the ocean. A lot of long streets and lots of houses. So the storm surge, I don't know if we would get that. I just don't know, guys. In the past, we've had hurricane warnings since we moved here. We've had like 3 or 4 warnings. But nothing that had us dead center. And nothing that was going to make landfall at about a 4. And nothing that is scaring me so much. I just don't want this to happen. Is there any way we can stop this from happening? Because a lot of the times, like, we don't even get the rain. Like, it just kind of misses us. And we're like, whew, that was close. Thank goodness it just missed us. But then you look at what could happen, and it's pretty awful. So I don't know what we're going to do. In Florida, I mean, it's a long drive, and the place isn't opened yet. So my parents don't have any cable or Wi-Fi or anything set up. And they were having their bathroom fixed or renovated. I think they were getting rid of the tub for just a shower. Yeah, problems I don't have. So that's in the middle of being finished. So there's no shower either, but we could shower across the street at the pool. And get Wi-Fi at the pool across the street. So it's not like really like, and there's no cable, there's no nothing. So everyone's like, so we're going to go somewhere with no Wi-Fi? Like, we might as well just stay here. That's what we would miss the most. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Have you ever been in this situation where you were unsure about your safety, your family's safety, the safety of your home more than anything else, and you couldn't decide whether to leave it or to stay? And if you have been in that situation, what did you do? Were you grateful that you made that decision, or were you kicking yourself because you made the wrong one? I really would like to hear. Yeah, I'm going to be putting my email address in the show notes. I think from now on, I'll just include it. It's tinyapplique@gmail.com, and I'll put that in the show notes, like I said. It's from my quilting days when I did tiny applique. And I did make a new one called Diamond Painting Fool, but I can't figure out how to set that one up to come into my like other Gmail, so screw it. We'll just go with tiny applique, and I'll have that in the show notes, so you can feel free to email me any old time, not just about the hurricane. And yeah, I mean, I'd love to like chat with you some more, whatever, you know, if you want. I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, nothing else really has happened since I last spoke with you. Yeah, the kids' school has been canceled for the rest of the week, so they don't have it. Today is Monday, like I said. There's no school Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for sure. They're talking about next week already, but we don't know what's going to be. So it's just talk. The university closed as of yesterday, and they have a mandatory evac for students, but they always do that. Big hurricanes, little hurricanes, they always do evac for students because it's better for them if the students aren't there. Less things to worry about. Yeah. So we've been asking and everyone we ask has a different answer. Are you staying? Yes. Are you staying? No. Why? Different answer. Why not? Different answer. And it seems the people who've lived here longer are the ones who are staying, and the people who are newer to the area are the ones who are leaving. It also seems that the people with younger children are leaving and older children are staying. I see reasons behind that. Because what do you do with all these little kids with nothing to entertain them? If we are staying, then tomorrow, or even if we don't stay, I mean, I can just return them or take them to Florida. Probably go out and get some board games, because I know what I'm going to do. Guess what doesn't take any power? This thing. I mean, I can probably do without the light pad if I have to. But isn't it great that diamond painting is like an electric-free hobby? We don't need anything to make it work. Just some strong glasses, which I wear. Like, I don't wear glasses regularly. I'm so thirsty. Hang on, guys. I always had perfect vision. And then one day, Sarah was giving me something, and she held it up close to my face, and I couldn't read it. And I was like, oh my God, wait, what? I can't read, what? Huh? That's blurry. I kind of had a little freak out because I realized I was losing my sight. So I started wearing readers a couple of years ago. And then when I was doing my paint by numbers, I was wearing a pair of readers and using a magnifying glass, like a little lamp with a magnifier in it. And then I realized, well, if that's a 2 times magnifier and I'm wearing like a 1.5 times pair of glasses, why don't I just get stronger glasses and do away with the magnifier altogether? So that's what I did. So I wear very strong readers, my 3s, when I diamond paint, so that I can see my little letters. Isn't it annoying though, when you have to put on a pair of glasses to read the ingredients on something, or to read how to like cook something or anything at all. And you're like, what does that say? Oh, I hate it. Or when I forget them and I can't read anything in the world. It's just so crap. Losing your eyesight is crap. That's all I gotta say about that. It's crap, crap, crap. I gotta grind these little suckers. Some of the drills, not all of them, but couple, like 3, 2, 3. They're kind of just clumpy like that. Not like stuck together, not oily. So I just take the whole lot, put them in my pill crusher. The kind with the teeth has to have the teeth. The other one doesn't work. I took this one from Max because I would crush his medication in this one. And I bought the wrong one with the flat bottom. So now I use that one for his medication, and I stole this one. And he keeps saying, that's mine. I'm like, not so much anymore. So you see, you just go around a couple times like that. And then you put it back in your tray. And presto magico. I'm trying to get it like really pretty. Like, da-da. Yes, this makes me very happy. Was I using my tweezers before? I don't even know, but I'm moving on to this right now. And I don't want to leave my house. I just want all my stuff to be okay. I want us to be okay. I just want it to come and go and not leave a devastating path in my city, amongst my fellow neighbors and my people. I was just driving down the street today, looking at everybody driving around, thinking, you know, we're all feeling the same thing right now. We're all worried about our life and our property and our loved ones. And we're all having like the same experience. And I thought that was, you know, kind of cool, because it's rare these days that you kind of feel that way about the people around you, that they understand what you're going through. Everyone has their little nuances, but pretty much we're just all going through the same thing right now. What to do, where to go. But I'm glad to know that my neighbors will be here, so we won't be alone. The neighbors 2 doors down are actually leaving. They called me today to say that they're going to be driving to Winston-Salem, which I don't think is far enough. Personally, I think it's supposed to go inland from here. Winston-Salem is, I don't know how far from here. It's pretty far, maybe 5 or 6 hours away. But I don't know much about it, to be honest with you. I just am repeating what I heard, nothing firsthand of my own knowledge about why or why not to go there. I was telling you a different story, though. Do you remember what it was? The last time I was in a major weather event was in Montreal in 1998. It's either 98 or 99. I think it was 98. Maybe it was 99. I don't know, obviously. But it was the ice storm. And oh man, was that a doozy. Wow. We had freezing rain. And freezing rain is a nasty little beast. Because it falls as rain and then it freezes on the way down, but not enough to turn into snow, just enough to turn into ice. And we had so much of it, there was like inches of it built up on tree limbs that gets heavy. And the trees fell, and the power lines fell, and like the big, huge, major most of Canada runs on water power, hydropower, and the big, huge, major hydro towers that are like in this, it was like the shot of this big field of just tower after tower after tower, like big monstrous things just falling like dominoes from all the ice. Just one fell, they all, another, like it just fell like dominoes. The city had no power for, I think, a week, which is a long time for a big metropolitan city like Montreal. My sister lived in this one square block of Montreal that did not lose power. And her little square block was, on her little square block was her tiny, tiny one-room apartment. So it was back together again as a family on this tiny little apartment with Tony the bird and us. And at that time, my dad was the director of the hospital. He's medical director of a major hospital in Montreal. And so he was in charge of all the patients being evacuated to his hospital because the other hospitals had all lost power and generators because there was no gas left in the city. I mean, it was really quite a disaster. And so he would be at the hospital all day trying to, organize patients and equipment, and you can only imagine. And then he'd come home to the little tiny place on Park Avenue at night, and we would just sit there and he'd worry about his house. He was like, I'm just so worried about our home, because my parents' home is also in front of a really big forest. And you couldn't drive down the streets because there was just ice everywhere. And before it had done the freezing rain, we'd had a ton of snow. So there was just like a ton of snow covered by a ton of ice. You couldn't move. You just couldn't move. Everything was canceled in the city. Just about everything was canceled. So we cleaned my sister's apartment for a week because she's not the best housekeeper, kind of like me. So yeah, my mom and I just cleaned out her fridge and her bathtub and all kinds of stuff. It was quite an adventure. That was the last major weather event I was in. And my parents have a gas stove. So my mom was like, well, we're going to have hot water, so we should stay. But it got very, very cold, and so we couldn't stay. And then after that, my parents put in a gas fireplace so that next time that might happen, they wouldn't have to evacuate. But it never, thankfully, has happened since. So they haven't had to put that plan into motion. But for the longest time after that ice storm, power would go out in Montreal at the drop of a hat. A little bit of wind, power's out. Because it took decades to get the power grid back up to where it had been. It was unbelievable. But thankfully my parents' home was not, my home at the time, wasn't damaged. But we lost like most of the trees in the city in that storm. All these old growth trees, they all just fell all over the place. I'm looking for V's. Looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for love in all the wrong places. Have you ever been in a major weather event? Tell me. Tell me about it. We're here to commiserate and chat. We're here to chat it up. So let me ask you another question. I've been thinking about what else I want to do with my YouTube channel because it's supposed to be a visual medium, but yet I feel right now like I'm treating it like a podcast because I'm just chatting. I'm not really doing anything that you need to look at. I mean, don't you agree? Like it's kind of, I'm not using the visual part of this medium at all. at the moment. And I'd kind of would like to. So I'd like to like expand what I'm doing on here, and I thought I would start with like different craft hauls and stuff because I do like to shop. I've already mentioned that I think doing like unboxings of diamond paintings are just kind of, I'm betwixt and between about them because I like to watch them, but I don't feel like anyone would want to watch them. Does that make sense? Like, do you love to watch unboxings of diamond paintings? Is that something that you think I should be doing and y'all feel like you're missing out big time because I'm not doing them? Be interesting to know. I guess I could ask that. Do you want to see unboxings of diamond paintings? Yay or nay? You feel free to say nay. I'm fine with that because I'm not really into the idea of doing it. But I do want to do something. So I like to go shopping, craft hauling. And I thought I could show you guys that stuff and share that with you and some ideas of what I might want to do with it. Or whether it's just like something I need to have in my stash in case I might need it maybe. There's also stuff like that, that you might need it maybe, therefore you should have it for sure. Where am I going with the nines? Let's do some nines, dress to the nine. I was thinking that I could do, I don't know, some other, maybe like little organization videos, because I do love to organize. Not just like me sitting here, cutting bags and bags of diamonds apart to make them smaller to fit in my drawers. But, actual organization ideas and stuffs for craft supplies. Not my house, because I'm telling you, my house isn't very organized. But my craft room is. Yes, indeedy. Alright, well, I think that's about all she wrote for tonight, guys. So, until next time, don't forget to tell me whether I should stay or should I go. Should I stay or should I